The seemingly never-ending parade of storms and atmospheric river is really dangerous, expensive, and deadly. And the most vulnerable among us are those who are unsheltered during these storms. Now, 2 people died this past weekend in Sacramento County after trees fell on their tents. Tonight, Becca Habegger continues our conversation with 3 women who are experiencing these hardships and one organization that's working to help them.
Depending on where you live, you might have seen these little fridges and pantries around your town. This one is in Sacramento. Bree is the founder of the Awkward Gardeners Community Table, which takes surplus food and diverts it from the landfill by giving it to people who are experiencing food insecurity. And part of that work includes restocking these fridges and pantries throughout the week, which individual homeowners decide to install and anyone can donate to.
I try to stuff my car as much as I can because I want, 1, the trip to be worth it, and 2, to feed as many folks as possible, maximize my trip.
She'll take all sorts of surplus food, but says items with a longer shelf life, something that doesn't spoil quickly, is especially helpful, especially now when storms mean the power to these fridges could go out.
So a lot of belongings are getting destroyed by the storms. The folks that I serve on the streets, particularly in the encampments, their encampments are being flattened.
She paid an extra visit on Tuesday to a Sacramento encampment she visits every Sunday.
It's really hard not knowing where your next meal is coming from.
Melody Friels relies on Bree's weekly visit. She lives in a tent here part-time as part of a pattern.
What happens is I get paid, I go to a motel, my money runs out, I'm on the street. I get paid, I go to a motel, money runs out, I'm on the street. It's been that vicious circle for a couple years now. I got a bad car wreck and that's what put me out on the street. I was working for a school district, had a car, had a home, and then I got in the car wreck on my way to church, of all things. I almost lost my life, and that's what put me on the street because I just didn't know how to do anything anymore. That's how bad it got me. But yeah, I'm just hoping for things to start turning around. You know, I just keep taking one day at a time, one day at a time.
On this day, Bree also handed out meals to Reese Tate.
It's more than just one meal. She makes sure you have stuff for like the next day or later.
She says she appreciates Bree's consistency.
Especially out here living like this, it's important to have consistency because it kind of gets you in the mindset of being consistent with yourself.
Hi, Superfast. Nope.
Amanda Rose Riano lives in a bus parked here, but even in a vehicle.
We can't stay dry no matter what we try because repairs haven't been done yet. It's hard to make repairs when you can only park places for 72 hours at a time.
We asked all of these women what they'd like those of us with secure housing to keep in mind during these storms and beyond.
I just say be kind to everyone. If you have never been been in this situation, never say never, for one, because it's one of the most hardest situations to deal with, homelessness, period. And just be kind. Just if you have it, give it, because what goes around comes around, and what you put out is definitely what you'll get back.
Perhaps the issue should not be focused on whether or not I'm living within 4 walls. Maybe the issue should be focused more on how do we get you where you're living and thriving, you know, and take the homeless part out of it.
All I can say is very difficult. It's a hard life, a very hard life. You don't ever want to do it again. Just don't want to do it right now, but no choice.
All right, and I want to highlight some other resources that if you are out there and you need help, here are some resources to get through the storm. PG&E has made emergency kits available at multiple spots in El Dorado County. The bags include snacks, water, blankets, and even a portable battery charger for your devices if your power goes out. And if you would like to pick one up, Georgetown Gas and Go has them available from 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. And then you can also go to Garden Valley Fire Station 51 or Pioneer Station 28 from 8 a.m. to 6. And then El Dorado County Fire Station 21 from 8 to 4. And we also have a whole list of resources to help you weather this storm. Very simple. Just text the word storm to 916-321-3310. We'll send everything to your phone. We have traffic maps, power outages, official updates, and everything that will come straight to your phone. And on that note, I want to go ahead and get over to Monica to take a look at our weather right now.
It's still raining, Alex. We've got storm number 7 moving through Northern California right now. It is pulling just a little bit more to the north, but that doesn't mean we haven't seen our fair share of rain come through. Still raining right along that I-80 line and then into the foothills and the Sierra. Some of us starting to clear out right now, but again, coming in from the west along I-80, Vacaville, Fairfield, still raining right now near the Mother Lode as well. Higher up, it is snow in the Sierra, but that snow line is going to be fluctuating for tonight. Those gusty winds are starting to taper off right now. Still about 10 to 15 miles per hour sustained winds, but the gusts are starting to die down. Our winter weather advisory continues through 4 o'clock tomorrow morning. We will see that rising snow level above the passes by early tomorrow. Rainfall and runoff still an issue, and so our flood watch continues through early tomorrow morning as well. Now, this is going to be day number 14 because we go all the way back into December to continue to mark how many days of rain we've had consecutively. And that's going to go again. December 29th is when we started. We're at 8.39 inches of rain since then, with day number 14 of continuous rain. That's going to put us in the top 5 here. The longest stretch back in 1992 at 16 days. We got about 1/10 of an inch of rain in the valley today, about 1/2 inch to an inch along the Bay Area. Tonight, we're going to see those rain showers taper off very quickly. And tomorrow looks to be our first dry day in that stretch, which would mean we're going to stop the consecutive days. Many more storms to come. We've got number 8 and 9 in the pipeline here, so you can see our timeline. We're going to continue to watch showers, including heavier rain and snow, developing Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday for the holiday weekend, Alex.
All right, thanks, Monica. Now, I know thousands of people are struggling with power outages, but I do want to take a second to say thank you to all the crews that are really working hard to get the lights back on. And we know it's not an easy job. You guys are working through some really tough conditions. And one of the reasons why I want us to pause for just a minute and say thank you is because of Edgar Castillo. He was from Elk Grove, and just last weekend, he died while helping us recover from this storm. Luke Cleary brings us a few words from his family tonight.
A hardworking husband and father of 5. When Edgar Castillo wasn't on the grind, he was dancing.
I mean, I just think he's so silly.
His wife Leticia captured this video.
He's mopping, but he's dancing at the same time.
She wrote, "Just one of the reasons I love him." She told him often. On Friday, one last photo with his 5-year-old son, Edgar Jr.
This was probably like an hour before he got the call to say there was an emergency.
Working for a subcontractor of PG&E, he was called to Mendocino County to clear roads through a powerful storm.
He was so proud to get up every day and go to work and know that he was taking care of us.
On Saturday, the boom truck Edgar was driving crashed. He did not survive.
It kind of feels like a blur, like I'm okay 1 minute and then it hits me, so it's pretty hard.
Edgar Castillo, the father, provider, and entertainer.
My best friend, a great dad. Yeah, everything.
A man who knew how to make life fun, who died providing for his family.
He knows I loved him. I just would want to have spent more time telling him I loved him. I know he knows, and I said it often, but it's just, you can never say it enough when you don't have them anymore,
And as Luke mentioned, Edgar was the sole provider for his family. So if you do want to support his family, we have their GoFundMe page on abc10.com/tothepoint. Thousands of dollars lost. After the break, we're going to hear from one of the business owners on Broadway who is struggling to stay open as crime in the area rises. Businesses on Sacramento's Broadway are increasingly choosing to leave because of an uptick in crime. And it's something that we have been following very closely, like this business, Zanzibar. This is the scene from last May. Zanzibar Trading Company had 5 windows smashed after the business closed. And in past interviews, the owners have told us that they do not intend to leave despite the increase in homelessness or lack of foot traffic. But early this morning, they were hit once again. This marks more than a dozen times in 2 years that they have had their windows smashed in. But today, they were robbed for the first time. We caught up with the owner who says that it set them back about $30,000.
Running in, grabbing a basket, and there he is, smashing the case and going shopping. About 5:20 this morning, we had somebody throw a small boulder through the front door, smashing the glass. They came in, picked up a shopping basket, and literally went to town, destroying one of the jewelry cases, taking about $30,000 in merchandise. We have had several glass breaks with the door, but no one has ever been able to actually gain entry into the store. Oh, it's sickening. It's invasive. It's terrible. It's extraordinarily disheartening. One thing after another. There's never any relief. There's no let up. There's just a constant crisis that we have to deal with, and this is simply the latest in a long line. We filed a police report, and we're compiling a list right now of the specific pieces that were stolen. Ultimately, I think this is an example of the crisis that our society as a whole is facing, one of a total lack of mental health awareness and resources for people. It's extremely angering for me. We work so hard to do what we do. This has been my livelihood for over 20 years. And this is such a violation of my life. This is my life. This is my life's work. And it's disgusting to me to have someone do this to us.
And Joss says that the best way that you can help is by shopping and supporting the local businesses. Zanzibar Trading Co. is across the street from Target over on Broadway if you want to stop by. We've also got a link to a fundraiser on our website. All right, after the break, there's a castle right in our own backyard, but it isn't home to any royals. We'll have more after the break. All right, let's get a look at our weather. Monica, I feel like I don't even know what day it is. Like, it's just raining every day. I'm just like, I want to stay inside and wrap up in a blanket.
Yes, watch some movies.
Oh,
exactly.
yeah.
Catch up as we head into tonight. We are going to see some clearing. Foothills and the Sierra, we're still dealing with some of those showers. Wanted to hit on a couple of these key points that people have been wondering about. One is the rivers. If you've gone out to the Sacramento River, you see how terribly high it is running. Currently throughout the state, we have 72 rivers that are at normal conditions, 25 above monitor, many of them along the Sacramento pipeline here, and then 3 that are above the flood stage, and that's going to be right along the coast. Much of that is going to be receding, though, by the time we get into tomorrow and early Friday. It takes a little bit of time for those rivers to recede, and they're not going to go down. They're going to stay pretty steady, but it looks like right now the Sacramento River at I Street Bridge is going to crest Saturday afternoon at 27.8 feet as we head into the next couple of days. And so that's going to put it below the threshold of opening the Sacramento Weir. We're going to see a little water flowing out of there, but manually opening it does not look like it's going to be happening. So again, rivers are going to be high, but they can handle more water. That is what we're hearing from the Department of Water Resources. The snowpack reached a milestone for today at 100% of the April 1st average. That is the date at which we usually don't see a whole lot more snow coming, and it's more about the runoff. And that's going to be the third point here. We are monitoring some smallage storage areas because with the successive storms coming in, there's still a possibility a little bit of that melting may occur. But here is a look at those numbers. It is just terribly impressive. 184% of average for the northern Sierra, 228 for the central, and 269 for the southern Sierra. So that's going to put that statewide average over 100% of the April 1st marker. Our rainfall also since October 1st, the beginning of the water year, impressive. We are all above average and there's more to come. So this year is looking very good. Tomorrow is our dry day there. Highs will be in the low 60s, a warmer day for us into our Thursday. And then we turn our attention to the next storm coming in. That's going to put us with a winter storm watch starting up late Friday. It's going to take us all the way through Tuesday with 3 to 5 feet of new snow. It's going to be some hazardous travel over the holiday weekend. Tomorrow's our dry day. Friday, we're going to get right back into that rain coming in and some snow for the Sierra. And then Saturday, another soaker with snow for the Sierra. By Sunday into Monday, it's more rain and snow for us. So our 7-day total is going to be close to 3 to 4 inches in the valley and the Bay Area, 4 to 6 for the foothills. And again, 3 to 5 feet of new snow for the mountains, as you can see here, playing out over the next 5 days. For the mountains, it's going to be rain mixed with snow, and then mainly snow Saturday through Monday. Rain for the foothills, rain for the coast, and for the valley. Again, rain starting up late Friday. That takes us all the way through the beginning of next week.
All right, we're going to take a break from the weather for just a minute for a look back in time, because tucked away in Amador County is a castle. Preston Castle out in Ione is known for its Halloween haunt, but there's a lot of history that people just don't talk about. And the castle wasn't home to royalty or the rich or anything like that, but it was a reform school and one that was originally housed at the infamous San Quentin State Prison. Photojournalist Xavier URT introduces us to the group who is fighting to keep that memory alive.
My love of the castle is the structure, what it means to Ione, the fact that it stands on the hill, and then the whole history behind it. People think that it's a grand mansion. It was built as a reform school for boys, and that's all that it was ever used for.
When the state closed the building in 1960, their plans were to bulldoze the building. They allowed the interior of the castle to be stripped of all of its furnishings, doors, you name it, it was hauled away.
That's the thing with Preston Castle Foundation. I mean, we're really committed to preserving the building. I mean, that's our goal, is to preserve the history and preserve the building. My grandmother and a couple of cousins were involved in saving the castle back in the 60s when the state's plan was to tear the building down. A group of local women got together and basically fought with the state for 8 years.
The three ladies managed to get the castle designated as a state historic landmark. So the castle is, as of the mid-1960s, a state historic landmark.
The state finally in 1968 agreed to not tear the building down, but also not to do anything to keep it standing.
They stripped the slate tile roof off the main wing of the castle in 1960 on their way out, which allowed the rain to come in for the next 40 years, which caused a great deal of damage, structural damage from the water coming into the castle.
It was pretty devastating to see how bad a shape the building was in, because from the exterior you can't always tell that.
Thousands of young men came through this building in the years that it was in operation, with the goal that they all move on to a better non-criminal life.
They would go to school for a half a day, and then they would learn a trade the other half of the day. So they were set up to be successful when they went out. But being housed at Folsom and San Quentin with adults prior to this facility being built was not a good model for success.
By the summer of 1895, there were over 160 boys living here inside the castle.
There's some people that come here and they go, oh, it's so sad and it's evil, and you know, these were bad boys, and it's like, they weren't all. You know, back then kids were sent here because they were living on the street. Their parents had died, or there was too many kids to take care of, so they just got set free. You still had a group of kids that really were just in a bad situation, and this really was what brought them out of that.
The public only ever got to see the castle after 2001, when the nonprofit foundation, Preston Castle Foundation, was formed to save the Preston Castle. Prior to that, even though it was a state historic landmark, it was fenced off and closed, and nobody could really see it other than from a great distance. We're not very good in the United States at preserving things. This is one of two significant examples of Romanesque revival architecture in Northern California, preserving the history of not only the castle, but the entire school and all the people who went through here, the boys and the staff members and their families. Back in the day, the school was the largest employer. It was the economic engine of the community. This was the biggest employer.
We do anything we can to raise money, pretty much. We do public tours, we do private tours, photo shoots, just about anything we can do to raise money for the castle, and it all goes back into the castle, but also to get other people excited in the building and the history.
You have a passion for history, but for people that don't have a passion for history, and they see the castle, they're like, so what? What would you say to them?
You're missing out. It's interesting because people come to the Haunt, which is our biggest fundraiser of the year, and they come because they want to be scared, and it's, you know, a creepy looking building. And then they come out and they go, I want to come back. I want to see what it really looks like. I want to know the history.
And if you're curious too, as she mentioned, they do tours, photo shoots, and they have events all year round. And get this, it's just about 45 minutes outside of Sacramento, so not too bad. If you do want to experience it for yourself, just head to abc10.com/to-the-point. We have all the info there. We'll be right back. We are far from out of the woods when it comes to these winter storms. So the U.S. Air Force is using some of their weather planes to help scientists better understand the atmospheric rivers that just keep hitting our state. And the best part, our Brandon Ritteman and photojournalist Tyler Horst are in one of these WC-130s as we speak, and they are coming up on about hour 10 in the air right now. So tomorrow, right here on To The Point, Brandon's going to show us what it's like to fly in the middle of a storm in one of these bad boys, and also how they can help us better understand these storms. So make sure you join us tomorrow night right here at 6:30. And as always, let us know what's going on in your neck of the woods. We'd love to hear from you. All you have to do is shoot us an email. Have a great night, and please stay safe. As Monica said, the rain's on the way again. Hey, it's Alex. Just wanted to say thank you so much for watching. I really love hearing from everyone, and I hope that you'll stay in touch. Reach out to me on Facebook at AlexBellTV, or you can email me at tothepoint@abc10.com, or you can even send me a text message at 916-321-3310.